So the lab this week again is very similar to what we have done so far in week 7 and week 8 lab that was last week. So question number 1 says in the first hour of the lab, we need to revise the system that we have made in the previous labs. So for this exercise, ensure that you have completed lab 6 and 7 and ensure that you have the author book and the stock class are implemented accurately, as this exercise will require you to add or modify a few lines of the code. So I hope you have your code from the last labs. The first problem here is there was some problem noted in the lab 7, and that was the author array in the book class was created with a size of 3, right? So if you recall, in that lab we had the stock class where we had an array of books and the size of that books array was 200, right? And then in each of the books we had some authors, and the size of the author array in the book object was 3, right? It was fixed to 3. So however, for some books there are less than 3 authors. So if I have an array of size 3, and for some books if I have 1 or 2 authors, then what we are doing over there is wasting 1 or 2 spaces in the array, right? So if there is only 1 author, right, then 2 spaces in the array will be wasted because the size of the array is 3. And as well as some books can have more than 3 authors. So if some book has, let's say, 5 or 6 authors, then we will not be able to store the names of those authors in the book, right? Because we can only store a maximum of 3. So what the new program is required to do is we have to use the number of authors information from the file to create the required number of author objects, and then simply point to this list of authors from the book class. Also in addition to book details, the print member function in the book class is now required to print the author information as well. So if you look at the book text file, right, over here we had this particular size, right, for the number of authors. So this particular book has 3 authors, second one has 1 author, and the third one has 2 authors. So initially what we have so far is if there are 3 authors in the book, then that is fine, the array is of size 3. But if there is only 1 author in the book, then 2 spaces in the array will be wasted. So what we are supposed to do is we read this information, that is the number of authors for the book, and then based on this we have to create an array, right? So if the size of the number of authors is 3, then we read this 3 and create an array of size 3. If the author is 1, then we create an array of size 1. If the author is 2, then we create an array of size 2, right? So depending on the size or the number of authors in the file, we will create an array of that particular size. Then the second part, it is required that the library system now also keep a record of the genre of a book. There are 2 types of genres considered as for now, that is fiction and non-fiction. To facilitate this, a new field is added to books.txt file. The indication of whether a book is fiction or non-fiction is made at the end of each line of book record as follows. The other thing, so far we had only this many attributes or data in our file for each line. That was the last data was the publisher. Now in this lab we have one more column, we can say, or another field that keeps track of whether the book is fiction or non-fiction. So the first one over here is fiction, then we have fiction again, and the third one is fiction as well, right? So now along with all of these details, we are also keeping track of whether the book is fiction or non-fiction, right? That is the genre of the book. and the structure of the classes looks something like this. It says, as a result of these changes, the modified class diagram for the class for the library system is as follows. So stock class, there is no change in the stock class. It is as it was. In the book class, you will see that we have one more attribute, right? The genre, and everything else is same. Also for the in this function add book authors, right? We are taking a pointer, right, instead of an array. So before we were passing an array, and now we are passing a pointer to the array, and that pointer or the array will be created based on this number over here. So the only change is in the book class, and the stock and the author class, they are still the same. It says now to store a genre of a book, the book class is modified. It says, can you identify the changes in the book class as a result of adding a new genre attribute? So if we add a new attribute, then we will also have to add the setters and getters, and also change the setBook function. So if I look at the setBook function, right, now over here we will also pass the genre of the book, right? So far we are only passing all of these details. So to add the details of a book, we will have to pass the genre as well, because that is a new attribute. The new requirements, you are required to modify the library system program from lab 7 to read the contents of books.txt into appropriate objects and perform the following functionality. So we have to print the book, the details, print all book ISBN. So we have these two functions, and we will have to make a function for printing the non-fiction books. Then likewise for the non-fiction books, and then sort and print all books by the book name in ascending order. So we will have to sort all of the books that we have in the stock by their name in ascending order. So A comes first, then B, and so on. And then search for a book using the ISBN search key. So we have this function, and then option 7 will exit. Right. So we will in our program we will have these options. So if the user enters 1, then that is going to print all the book details. Option 2 will print the ISBN, and likewise for the other options. So these functionalities should be repeated to the user until he or she decides to exit the program. So as long as the user does not enter 7, the program should continue running, right? And when the user enters 7, then the program should exit. It is also desirable each of the above functionalities are implemented using appropriate functions. So each of these menu items that you have should be implemented as functions. So the code is given here. Follow the following steps and code to implement this program. So the code is given here, and you just have to copy paste this code in your IDE and then compile and run. Now in here we have something different from the last lab or the lab before that. In the previous lab we had all of the code in a single file, right, in a single main.cpp file. In here we are required to create a project in your preferred IDE. We are using Visual Studio, and we have to create a separate file for each of these classes or the implementations that are given. So this code will go in one file, and it says create a header file .h called author.h and write the following code in the author class of the author class in that file. So you will just copy this entire code, right? Create a file in your Visual Studio and name that file as author.h, and then paste this code in that file. So I will open my Visual Studio and I will create a new project. empty project with the C++. Next. Right, so I'll save my code in my lab8 folder, and I'll call this lab8 create. Right, so right now we have a empty project, and in here it says that we need to create a file called author.h. So we know that the header files, right, this is a header file because it ends with a .h. So the header file will go in this header files section in your IDE. So I'll right click over here, go to add new item, and you will select this header file option, and the name of this file will be author.h. Click on add. Right, so once again you are given a default line over here that says pragma once. So I'll remove this line, right, make sure the file is empty, and then I'll copy this code from here and paste it in that file, right, and I can just indent this a bit so it looks a bit neat. So that is my author header file. Right, so once you have this, then you will go to the second part. The next one, it says create an implementation file called, that is .cpp. So author.cpp, and write the following implementation of the author class in it. So we will have two files for every class. One will be the header file, the other one will be the implementation file. So in the header file, you will have the definition of the class, right? You will have all the private, public attributes and member functions. In the implementation file, you will have the implementation of your member functions, and that goes in your source files. So right click, add new item. This will be a C++ file, so make sure to select CPP, and then you will write author, right? So make sure that the name is same as your class name, author.cpp. And in here, you are going to copy this code for the implementation and paste. Right, all of the code goes in there. So this is my author.cpp file, right? So I'll save this. Then next one says create a header file called book.h and write the following definition of book class in it. So I'll copy this code, create a file, a header file called book.h. Right, and in here I will once again remove this line and paste our code. So this is my book.h file. Then we will bring the implementation of the book class. So create an implementation file called book.cpp and write the following implementation of the book class in it. So this is the code for the CPP file for the book class. Once again, the CPP file goes in source files. So right click, add new item, and this will be called book.cpp. Add, and you will paste the code over here. I'll space out things a bit. Okay, so this is my book.cpp file. Save. The next one is the header file for the stock class. Once again, I'll create a header file called stock.h. So go to header files, right click, add new item, header file, and this will be stock.h. Right, add, remove this default line and copy this code and paste in there. Okay, so this is my stock.h file, and you will see that in here we have some friend functions, private and public attributes. And then in the similar way, we have to create the implementation file for the stock class. So I'll copy this code and I'll paste this in a file called stock.cpp. So I'll create a file under source files, add, this will be a cpp file. So that will be called stock.cpp. Paste the code over here, right? Bring the remaining code. So once again, I'll space this out a bit. Okay, so this is my stock.cpp file. Now, one thing you will notice here is we have the header files, right? Then we have the source files. So we had three classes. So we have three header files. We had the author class, book class, and the stock class. So we have a header file for each of the classes. And then we also have the implementation file for each of the classes as well. So three classes in total, there will be 6 files, three for the header files and 3 for the implementation. Then next we have some more functions and code. So this is create a program file called main.cpp and enter the following code in it. So this code goes in my main.cpp file, new item, cpp file. Right, so I am adding this under the source files, and this is called main.cpp. Add and paste the code over here. I'll indent this a bit and space out. So we have a friend function. Then there are other functions. So I'll copy all of this. Okay, so I have all the code here in my IDE. Now let's see if this code compiles. We don't have this books file, so I'll just copy the books file into this code. I'll create a new file here. Books.txt, and I'll copy this book content from Moodle, right? So this is the file from Moodle under week 9. So I'll copy the content and I'll paste it inside this books.txt file, save, and I'll close it. Now let's run this code once again. All right, so you will see that we have this menu over here. Now all of this code is very similar to the previous lab, right? So if you are not familiar with any of these functions, right, then you can have a look at the previous recording. There are a few new functions that I'll be going over. So in here I have this print all book ISBN function. So this function is there from the previous lab, right? So the purpose of this function is just to go over all the books in the stock, right? And then for each of the books you get the ISBN and then print. And then similarly the next function is print all book details. So this function is supposed to print the details of all the books. So if you recall, then this function print is in one of the classes, right, in the book class. So the purpose of this function is to print all the details of a particular book. And then we have this print all fiction books. So the purpose of this function is to print a book only if it is a fiction book. So this Excel file is from the previous lab. right? So before we had something different. Now we have a little change in the classes, right? So you will notice that in the book class, right, this is one book object, right? So in the book object, the number of authors is now variable, right? So in the first one it is 3, then we have 1, and then the third one is 2. So the length of the author array is not fixed, right? It is not 3, it is of variable size. So if you look at the book object, then we have one more attribute over here, that is the genre of the book, right? Which is, for this book it is fiction, right? So this is our file that we have to read, and if you look at the details of these files, then they have this fiction and non-fiction at the end, and that is what I have written in the file over here, right? So we have fiction, and then we have a non-fiction, right? So when these 3 lines are read from the file, this is how the data will be stored in the object, right? Now if you look at the author object, the first author or the first book has 3 authors, right? And that is why we have an array of size 3. In the second one, there is only one author in the book, that is why we have only one author object in the book class. And then for the third one, there are 2 authors, and that is why the size of the array for the third book is 2. Then for each of the books, we have the genre. So we have fiction, and then the last one is non-fiction, right? Now the purpose of this particular function is to go over each of the books, right? So this function will iterate over the books array of the stock class, right? It'll go over the books 3 times because there are 3 books in the array. So iterate over the books 3 times, and then for each of the books you get the genre, right? So you will see that it is saying books I dot get genre. So this will retain either fiction or non-fiction. So if it happens to be a fiction, right, only then you are going to print the book, right? So it will print the detail of this book, and then the second one. The third one is non-fiction, so this will not be printed. Then the next function is non-fiction. So very similar to the fiction, only that now it is printing the non-fiction. So it will go over all the objects, and if the genre happens to be non-fiction, then only it is going to print the details of the book. The next function is sort book list by book name. So the purpose of this function is to go over this books array in the stock object, and then sort all the books by the order of their book name in ascending order. So right now we have data structures, then we have C++ for me, and then geography. So if we sort this in ascending order, then we will first have C++ for me, then data structures, and then geography. So that is what that function will do. It will take this particular book, C++ for me, and then shift this particular book to index number 0, and then move these data structures to the second index, and then geography will remain over there because G comes after C and D. So how does this function work? Now the main part of the function is over here, right, where the checking and the swapping happens. There is a function used over here called compare. Now when you are comparing integers, then you can just simply use greater than or less than for the integers, right? But in here, since we are trying to sort something by the name, which is a string, then for that we will have to use the compare method. So how does this compare function work? Now I have a little code over here just to show how that actually works. So I have 2 strings. I'll call it B1, book 1, and book 2. Now I'll write some condition over here. I will say B1 dot compare. So to use this function, you will first write the name of the first string. In this case, it is B1, and then in the parenthesis as a parameter, you will pass the second string, which is B2. Now if B1 is less than B2, then this particular function will retain a number less than 0. So in here you will see that C++ should go first. So we can say C++ is less than data structures, right? Because C is smaller than D, or we can say C goes before D. So if that is true, then this function will retain a number that is less than 0, right? So I can say if B1 is less than B2, right? Then I will say maybe first, otherwise let's print second. So when I run this code, it says first, right? Of course, with the right spelling. That means B1 is indeed smaller than B2. Now if I change the sign over here to greater than, then it says second, because now it is in descending order. So D goes first and then C. So if I want to have it in ascending order, then I'll have to write smaller than. So this will print in ascending order. So a smaller one goes first and then the next one. So what is basically happening over here is we are trying to get the names of the book. So you will see that we are getting book I and then I plus 1. So we are getting both the neighbors, right? So take any two books, right? First one and the second one, or the second one and the third one, right? Take two books at once, right? And then you compare them. So you will see that this is the first book, then the second book, and then we are comparing the first one with the second one. So value, which is the first one, dot compare with value neighbor, which is the second book. And if it retains a number less than 0, then that will mean that value is less than value neighbor, or the first book is less than the second book. So if that is the case, right, then we swap the two books, right? And I'm sure you know how the swapping function works. So we are creating a temporary book object, and in there we are storing the current book, right? And then we are getting the neighbor and assigning that to the current book. And then for the neighbor, we are storing the current book, which was stored in temp. Right, so this was the main part of this function, right? You must know how to get the name of the book, right, that you want to compare, and then compare them using the compare function. And then we have these two outer loops, for loops, right? So they are basically part of bubble sort, so that is not something new in here, right? The main part for you to take away here is how do you get the name of the books, right? And then compare them to determine which book will go first, okay? And then you just swap them. So that was the sorting function. And then we have this search function. So this is again from the previous lab. In there, this part was in the main function. We have just taken this and put them inside a function, right? But the behavior is still the same. And then we have the main function. So in here we are reading the book and then storing the data into the book. Now in here, you will see that this part is different. So in here, we are getting the number of authors from the book or the file. So we are getting this 3, let's say in the first iteration. So we get 3 over here, right? And then based on the number of authors, we dynamically create an array in the heap using this new keyword of size 3, right? And that is called book author. So this is a pointer, right, to this array. And then every other part is same as the previous lab. So we are reading all the details from the book or the file, right? And then we are setting the author first and the last name into this particular array. We are also reading the genre of the book from the file. And then at the end, we store the data in the stock object. And then in the second iteration, we will read this number 1, okay? And then based on that 1, we will create an array of size 1. So now you will see that we are not wasting any space in the array. In the last lab, we had an array of size 3, which was fixed. So if there is, let's say, only one author in the book, then 2 spaces were wasted. But now we are not wasting any space. We are creating an array of size of whatever size is in the file. and then everything else is same over here. Then in the second part over here, we have some menu driven program. So if we enter 1, then the details will be printed, right? So depending on whatever the input is, right, the respective function will be called. Okay, so let's run this and see what happens. Hopefully it compiles. Okay, so it says we have these many options. So if I enter 1, right, we get the details of the books. So you will see that we have these 3 books from the file. If I enter 2, then we will get the ISBN. 3 will get as the fiction books. So you will see that we have data structures and C++ for me. Right, so these 2 were fiction, and we have got only these 2 books. And then 4 will give us the non-fiction books. So in the file, only 1 book was non-fiction. Then we have number 5. So 5 will sort the book list by book name. So if I enter 5, we will see that we get geography, data structures, and then C++. So this is in descending order. So we can easily change the order just by changing one thing in the code. So if I go to that sorting function, right, and if I want to print the books in a different order, I just have to change this symbol to the opposite one, which is greater than. So now if I close the program and then compile and run again, now if I enter 5, you will see that now we get a different order. So we get C++, then we have data structures, and then geography. Right, so if you want to change the order, you just have to change this symbol over here, right, and everything else in the function will remain the same. And then 6, search for the book by ISBN. So if I enter, let's say, this particular ISBN, so we should get the details of this C++ for me. Okay, and then 7 is to exit. The second part of the lab says that we have to modify the program so that it is now able to print the book list in descending order. And there's some hint given, right? Study the implementation of the current sorting function, then create a similar function called sort book list by book name in descending order. Call this function using menu 7. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this function for sorting that we currently have. I'll copy this entire function. All right, and I'll paste it after that function over here. Let's call this friend function 6, and the name of this function should be this. Now the only thing that we have to change here to sort the book in the opposite order is just to change this particular symbol. So before it was greater than, now I'll make it smaller than, and that is it, right? It is going to sort the book in the opposite order. And you will see that currently we are getting these errors, right? It says that a member is inaccessible. So we just have to declare this function as a friend function of the stock class, because we are trying to access the private members of the stock class. So I'll go in the stock header file, right, and in here I just have to copy the existing function, and I will just change the name to the new function name. Right, and now when we run this code, it should compile. But before that, we have to call this function from menu 7. So in the main function over here, I'll add a new case statement. But let's call this case 7, and in here we are going to call that particular function. Right, so I'll copy this and paste it over here, and whatever we are passing is still the same, we just have a ampersand over here. All right, so now when we press option 7, we should get the book list in descending order, and we have to add 7 over here as well, right? So that our while loop is able to cater for 7 as well. And in the cout over here, I will add one more option over here. I'll call this 8 for exit, and for 7, let's call this sort the book list in descending order. Alright, so we should be good to go. Now let's run this. We are getting some error over here, and we are missing something, so we should not have a semicolon over here because this is part of just one cout. Run. So it says sort the book list by book name in descending order. So let's enter 7. Right, so you will see that now we are getting the book list in descending order. So we have G, D, and C. Number 5 will print in ascending order. So number 5 prints C, D, and then G. And we can put a new line over here to shift this 8 to the next line. And then the next part says write a new search function that can allow the user to search for books using the book name. There is some hint given. It says study the implementation of the search book function, then create a similar function called search book by book name. So I'll go to the search function. So this function is currently taking the ISBN. So I'll copy this function and the name of this function will be search a book by book name. Now in here we have to allow the user to enter the name of the book. So we can change some things over here. It says let's search for a book using ISBN. So now it will be book name. This is just a comment, so it doesn't really matter. String is ISBN search key. We can give some name over here. We can call this is book name, and then enter name of book to search in stock, and then we will read this particular name in this variable, and then to this function we will pass the book name. Now we need to implement this particular function, get book details. So I'll go inside this function. So you will see that this particular function is inside the stock class, all right, in the stock.cpp. So I'll copy this function, all right, and we can call this get book details by name, and in here we are passing the name of the book. We can say book name or b name. So inside the function we have to go over all the books, and in here we just have to get the name of the book using the getter function. So I can say dot get book name, and right now you will see that we are getting some errors, and that is because this function is not defined or declared in the stock header file. So I'll go to the stock header file and I'll declare this particular function. Okay, so in here I will add that new function, and I can get rid of this stock class name. Right, so now the function is declared with a semicolon. So now this particular header file knows about this get book details by name function, and then inside the CPP file we have its implementation. So you will see that if I now write this dot operator, you will see that the get book name function will pop up. Right, so for each of the books I will get the name, and if the name is same as the book name that we have passed as the parameter, then this function will return a pointer to that particular book. I'll save this and go back to the main function where we have that search by name function. Now in the menu, let us add one more option. So I'll copy this and I'll change this to 9 and this to 8, and over here we can say search for book by name. Okay, and then in the while loop over here, I will add the option for 8. So I can copy this, paste, and I'll call this case 8, and this will be called search a book by name. So I'll copy this function, and that takes a book object or the stock object. So we will pass a stock object not by reference but by value, and let's compile this and see if it works. Oh, I have missed one more thing over here. Exit. So in here I have to add option 8 as well. Right, compile and run. Enter 8. It says enter name of book to search in stock. So let's enter geography. It says no matching ISBN exists. So this is basically just a print message. We can change that, but we are not getting the correct book. So let's see where the error is. So I'll exit this code. I'll go back to the function and we can change the name over here. We can say sorry, no book matching the book name exists. The main issue could be over here in this particular function get book details, and that is because we haven't called the right function over here, right? Because the function that we are supposed to call is not the get book details but the get book details by name. So in the main function I will have to call the right function, right? So now this function will call the get book by the name function. Run again, enter 8 and enter the name once again, and now you will see that the function is working. The other thing you will notice over here is if I enter the book name such as C++ for me or data structures, then you will see that the function does not work, and that is because the book name over here has spaces in between, so it is only reading the first part. Okay, so what we can do over here is instead of using this cin, we can use the getLine function, right? Something like this. So you let getLine cin and then the is book name variable name, right? And that should fix the issue. So that was all. Try to implement the last function, that is to use the getLine function in option 8 so that we can read the entire book name. So that was all for this video. Thank you for watching.